Chava Willig Levy here with part 2 of Happy Birthday, William.
A quote. Hath not a Jew eyes?
Of course I got eyes. I got eyes, I got hooks, I got scissors.
Shut up already. What is this, Shakespeare on the roof?
Brush up your Shakespeare. Duck. Start quoting him now. Brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow. Better mention the merchant of Venice, when her sweet pound of flesh you would menace.
If her virtue at first she defends well, just remind her that all's well that ends well.
And if still she won't give you a bonus, you know what Venus got from Adonis. What? Brush up your Shakespeare, and they'll all kow-tow. Thinkst thou? And they'll all kow-tow.
Odds bodkins,
They'll all kow-tow. Shakespeare haircut.
Those hilarious gentlemen were Jonathan Freeman, Harry Groner, and Guy Haynes performing part 2 of Brush Up Your Shakespeare from Cole Porter's 1948 Broadway musical based on Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, Kiss Me, Kate. And if you think that you've heard the last of them, think again, because they will be joining us next week for our final Happy Birthday, William podcast. 10 years before Kiss Me, Kate came to Broadway, composer Richard Rodgers and lyricist Lorenz Hart wrote the first modern musical comedy to be adapted from Shakespeare, The Boys from Syracuse, based on the Comedy of Errors. Today we'll be featuring 3 gems from that Broadway musical in which 2 sets of identical twins run helter-skelter through a hilarious whirlwind of mistaken identities, mistaken affections, and mistaken valuables. First, here is Dear Old Syracuse, performed by Timothy Jerome and Lee Wilkoff.
This is a terrible city.
The people are cattle and swine,
There isn't a girl I'd call pretty.
nor a friend that I call mine.
And the only decent place on earth is the town that gave me birth.
You can keep your Athens, you can keep your Rome. I'm a hometown fella and I pine for home. I wanna go back to dear old Syracuse.
Though I've worn out sandals and my funds are low, there's a light that's burning in the patio. I wanna go back to dear old Syracuse. It is no metropolis, it has no big acropolis, and yet there is a quorum of cuties in the forum. Though the boys wear tunics that are out of style, they will always greet me with a friendly smile.
I wanna go back
to dear old Syracuse.
I do not agree with Mr. Spartacus. I was never meant to be a hardy cuss. I wanna go back to dear old Syracuse.
When a man is lonely, it is good to know there's a red light burning on the patio. I wanna go back to dear old Syracuse.
Wives don't want divorces there. The men are strong as horses there. And should a man philander,
The goose forgives the gander.
when the search for love becomes a mania, you can take the night close to Albania.
I wanna go back, go back, go back. I wanna go back, I wanna go back, go to dear old
Syracuse. Our next musical gem from The Boys from Syracuse is He and She, performed by Joan Morris and Max Morath.
I was I, you were you, and now we're only we. We are one who were two, or we had better be.
I now pronounce you man and wife, our magic words like open sesame.
But though they made you mine for life, they also made you think much less of me.
It only shows how little you know of it.
I know a pair who made quite a go of it. He was a man who was very fond of women. She was a girl who was very fond of men. She had a taste for both corpulent and slim men. He wouldn't look at a lady under 10. She went abroad just to find a man to marry. He went abroad just to find himself a wife. She didn't want any Tom or Dick or Harry. He sought a mate who'd be true to him for life. She fell in love with the angle of his eyebrow. He fell in love with the dimple on her knee. And when they wed, he went around with other women, and she went with other men. And that is he and she.
He always said, I would like to have a daughter. She always said, I would like to have a son. She took to kids like a duckling takes to water. He always thought having babies would be fun. He told her this on the very day he met her. She said the wish is the father to the sport. He bought a house in the nursery he set her. She helped the stork make his annual report. He won renown as the father of a squadron. She won awards for her prolificacy. And just because they loved their children, they got married after all. And that is he and she. She was as pure as the snow before it's driven.
He never smoked and he never touched a drop.
When she said boo, she would ask to be forgiven.
When he would swim, he would always wear the top.
She wore no rouge, though she had a bad complexion.
He always prayed every time he went to bed.
She was so kind that she hated vivisection.
He loved his ma and he swore he'd never wed.
She was so chaste that it made her very nervous.
He loved to go to the vicarage for tea.
And when they
died and went to heaven, all the angels moved to hell. And that is he and she.
One of the most famous songs in The Boys from Syracuse is Falling in Love with Love. I'm delighted to share with you this magnificent rendition of the song by a beloved Broadway star whose face and smile were as luminous as her voice, Rebecca Luker.
Your hands out all stitches. Keep your fingers under control. Cut the thread, but leave the heart whole. Married maids can sew and sleep. Wives can only sew and weep. Falling in love with love is falling for make-believe. Falling in love with love is playing the fool. Caring too much is such a juvenile fancy. Learning to trust is just for children in school. I fell in love with love one night when the moon was full. I was unwise with eyes unable to see. I fell in love with love everlasting. But love fell out with me. Caring too much is such a juvenile fancy. Learning to trust is just for children in school. I fell in love with love one night when the moon was full. I was unwise with eyes unable to see. I fell in love with love everlasting. But love fell out
Of course, The Boys from Syracuse and its inspiration, The Comedy of Errors, were, well, comedies. So, for the sake of contrast, our podcast concludes with The Shakespearean Tragedy Rag, written and performed by Ray Jessel. But don't reach for your box of tissues unless you'll need them to wipe away your tears of laughter.
It's old and yet it's new. Tonight we're gonna do the Shakespearean tragedy rag. Treachery and lies. Actors drop like flies. The Shakespearean tragedy rag. Starting with Othello, a jealous kind of fellow. Gee, that crafty Iago plays Othello like a cello. So Othello kills his bride, but after Desdemona's died, he finds out that she's innocent, so bingo, suicide. They put the cuffs on Iago. It's kinda like Chicago. Believe me, the proceedings never lag. Murder, mayhem, menace, forget Chicago. This is Venice, the Shakespearean tragedy rag. La 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 la, lack-a-day. La 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 la, the Scottish play. Lord and Lady Macbeth, those divas of death, do the Shakespearean tragedy rag. She is viciously ambitious, and he does what she wishes, 'cause that hag knows how to nag, 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 nag. Macbeth, he meets three witches who You scratch him where he itches. They say you'll soon be king and queen with all of Scotland's riches. But beware of Birnam Wood if it comes to Dunsinane, 'cause that would not be good, because a thane might just be slain. This is probably the only song you'll ever hear that needs cliff notes. There'll be a test after the show. To what depths this pair have sunken, killing Banquo after Duncan. Too late Macbeth finds murder is a drag, and though he never thought it could, oh shit, here comes Birnam Wood, the Shakespearean tragedy rag. Lucky he is not out, damned Scott. The Shakespearean tragedy rag. Fie on thee. Woe is me. Romeo and Juliet. Montague meets Capulet. You can bet that duet ends sadly. And old King Lear was a nice old dear, but his career, I fear, ends badly, madly. Poor King Lear. Oy vey's mere. Hamlet makes it plain. There is nothing like a Dane. The Shakespearean tragedy rag. Hamlet sees his daddy's ghost. Daddy tells why he is toast. The Shakespearean tragedy rag. Seems no one's quite as naughty as that nasty Uncle Claudius. After offing his own brother, now he's boffing Hamlet's mother. Revenge, cries Hamlet's daddy. Come on, son, do the prick in. But Hamlet hems and haws because, let's face it, Hamlet's chicken. He tries soliloquy, to be or not to be. Kills Polonius by mistake. Ophelia ends up in the lake. Big finish with a duel and a poison cup and sword. First Laertes dead, then Gertie's dead, then Hamlet, he gets gored. It all gets pretty bloody, 'cause Will's no fuddy-duddy. Yes, killin', chillin' villainies his bag. By the end of Act 5, no one's left alive. The Shakespearean tragedy rag. And that was just the teaser. Next week, Julius Caesar. The Shakespearean tragedy rag.
I can hardly believe it, but Mother's Day is just around the corner. So I'm turning to you for your recommendations of mother-related musical gems for me to feature. Just a reminder, it's not enough for a song to be mother-related. It has to be breathtaking as well. Please email your suggestions to breathtaking.podcast@gmail.com. And please join me next week for part 3 of Happy Birthday, William, in which Shakespeare will come alive hilariously with the help of, among others, Kelly O'Hara and Bruce Willis. In the meantime, I'm signing off for now with a song in my heart.